Hi, I'm Monsignor Gray here at St. Thomas as we're looking forward to Corpus Christi. We welcome people back as we had a very successful weekend last weekend opening the church, welcoming people in. So limited number though, just to allow for the separation and distancing. So just a couple of reminders that when people come in, so we're working insofar as we can to keep doors open so people have minimal contact with surfaces that might be touched. Also warnings on the doors and just encouragement about taking precautions about using protective equipment, so especially when people would feel more concerned with that. When then people come in, of course, there's hand sanitizer, and so we encourage people to make use of that. And some of the other things that we also have available is people can be seated in the narthex area or even in the chapel if they'd like to stay a little further away. So we have more separation here, and in fact, even indicating that there are some areas that are really only for people wearing masks. So if you'd rather be further separated from some of the other parishioners and in an area where only people with masks are seated, that you can do that. So for some people that might be helpful to have that degree of separation. If that makes people feel more comfortable, that's fine. And then of course we have bulletins, help yourself, so the bulletins aren't handed to you. So just an extra little precautions. And then no holy water in the font, and then also the collection, just people can drop off the collection when they come in or when they leave, but the baskets will not be passed, so there'll be no hand-to-hand contact. That's there. So all little things that are just for people's protection. And then as we get into the church itself, people were very good about spreading out, and there's plenty of space. So we have quite a capacity in the church, so there's no difficulty with people being able to separate and keep that distancing. And of course, as long as people are able to sit with sufficient distancing, then people can wear masks, but if they are allowed to remove them as long as they're separated from people that are not within their same household. As we look forward this weekend, of course, we have, so Saturday evening and Sunday morning at 9, we'll have some people being received into the church. So we have our baptismal font, preparing for the RCIA class for people who need to be baptized. We have the Easter candle in the sanctuary. So normally we're not in the Easter season, so we wouldn't have the Easter candle normally, but for those who are being baptized, we need the Easter candle as part of the ritual. Then on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, we have some of our students making their first communion, so very appropriate on Corpus Christi for students to be able to make their first Holy Communion on a day in which we honor the Eucharist, and we honor the body and blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. So in addition to that, we see some of the other decorations that are here. And this is worth people seeing as well. So not only are we back to Mass and people are able to come in if they wish to do so. Of course, people continue to be dispensed. It's not required to come to Mass, but for those who wish to do so, it is optional. So, and so as we look at the sanctuary, we can see that the tile itself has been done. So the marble, the white marble has been laid down. And then in the back of the church, we have some of the cosmetic work that was done on the doorways. So where we have doorways and some of the other things that off in this direction, some of the things, these niches and things like that have all been completed. But then we also have the introduction of color. So you can see some scaffolding as they're continuing to work on the color in the church. So we see some of the bluish grays that have been brought into the church, as well as the green, two colors that we see very much part of the St. Thomas palette because of the green metalwork that we have. So all the windows have green frames around them. We even see some of the green, the railings all have that kind of typical St. Thomas green. So we're piggybacking on top of that color, as well as the skylight. So the skylight brings the blue sky. So we have the greens and blues that are back here. And eventually, of course, this will be augmented by the different images of different saints, the different mosaics that will end up on either side of the tabernacle, as we also see some of the symbolic images that will make their way around the church, the symbols of the different virtues. And we'll have more information in the bulletin about that in the coming weeks. So we'll show some of those pictures and, of course, look forward to that progress being made. So things are moving along. More to come in the next couple weeks as they continue that work. And we do look forward to First Communion, look forward to welcoming members in RCIA. So all good things here at St. Thomas. So for those who feel it's safe to come, for those who are ready to come back, we welcome you and look forward to having our regular Masses this weekend. One of the other things that for people who maybe are not ready to come back to Mass, of course, since you're dispensed, it's not required, but communion will still be available on Sunday mornings from 12 to 12:30. So for people who wish to receive communion, so they can drive up, they can come to the Crescent Drive. They can come into the church, into the narthex if they want, or if they want to just simply remain in their cars, and communion will be brought out to them by the entrance of the church. So they're on Lake Street. As people come in, they park there. We'll make sure to bring communion to them as well. So I hope everyone has a blessed Corpus Christi, and we look forward to more progress as time goes on.